Ryan Hill. I'm the ninth grade administrator. This evening, you're going to get a lot of information. So if you think of something on the way home or tomorrow, and you say, I should have asked that question, please feel free to call me or just call somebody from the school, email us, and get that answer. But again, I just want to introduce myself and just say thank you for being here. And I also want to give a special thanks to Miss Tina Trotter and Miss Burton, because they put a lot of time in here, and our teachers, and the TSO, and the kids involved to put this night together. So I just want to give them a special thanks. And I'll turn it over to Miss Trotter.
All right, we are excited to have you here tonight, and we've got a lot of information to share with you. We do hope that if you don't get some of your questions answered, that you will ask those questions, either come up to us afterwards or ask at the tables here. But we want to start tonight with a couple of videos that our students created. And so we are super proud of these videos. One of them was created solely because the student loves the school. And she did it actually after she graduated. And we got it over the summer, last summer. She also wrote an open letter to Southwestern Randolph High School. So I think you could look it up, look that up even on YouTube. But it's a promo video. And it just highlights a lot of things going on here at Southwest. And then I'm going to show a video that was just created, actually, the last couple of weeks by our own Evan Weisner and Daniel McNeil, two juniors from Southwestern Randolph. And it highlights our CTE programs and shows you some of the things going on there. So we're going to watch those videos before we actually get started with the presentation. So hang on just a minute.
When heaven seems so far away, and dreams are just a memory, without the dark the light will show. Remember that you're not alone. When you watch the world just turn away, and break the promises it made, when love is all too hard to hold, just take a breath and let it go.
I am Randolph CTE because the skills I'm learning in my classes make me ready to be employed the day I graduate high school.
I am Randolph CTE because as a student I have been made to feel empowered and that my leadership ability has grown.
I am Randolph CTE because of the opportunities offered here that you really can't find anywhere else. Taking agriculture classes has never been a question to me. I know that here at Southwestern Randolph High, one of the largest agricultural programs in the county, there is something different. The environment and knowledge that is passed down here is not strictly agriculturally related. Here you learn about who you are and how to succeed.
I am Randolph CTE because of my involvement in agriculture and health science. The skills and experience I have gained through my involvement in CTE have better prepared me for the future in my career as a plastic surgeon.
I am Randolph CTE. The health science program has helped me prepare for my future career in nursing.
I am Randolph CTE because I am learning hands-on skills that will prepare me for a career in business or finance. My teachers at Southwest really help me understand the importance of job skills and help give me confidence.
As you can see, we have a lot to be proud of here at Southwest. We have a lot of wonderful programs. We have something for just about everybody. So we hope that, as you're thinking about what you want to do next year, that you'll think about Southwestern Randolph. I don't mean this anyway, but we'll see if it continues to work. It's a great day to be a Cougar. That's something that if you choose to come to school here, you're going to hear that about every day. And we do believe that. I did not graduate from Southwestern Randolph High School, but I love this place. This is a great place to be. Both my children will be educated here. I'm going to turn that off because that's going to get on my nerves. If you can't hear me, raise your hand. But both my children will go to school here, and I have been very pleased in the education that they have received. So I just think this is a great place not only to work, but a great place to have my students learn. So what makes Southwestern Randolph High School so great? And what about the 9th grade academy? We do have a small learning community. Our 9th grade teachers work really hard to make sure that our 9th graders are recognized and that they are supported throughout their 9th grade year. We have 2 breakfasts each year that celebrate not only academic achievement, but also good character and making positive strides to do their best, that kind of thing. So our teachers actually put that together, and quite honestly, they give of not only their time to do that, but a lot of their money as well to provide that for your students. So they care about what they do. We have multiple ways for students to plug in, and you see some of that around you tonight. We also have some tables set up in the Commons area. We have SGA and Beta are in the Commons area for you to go, and the teachers will be in there as well for the 9th grade for you to talk to. So we have lots of ways for you to plug in. We have lots of different athletic programs that are here. So if you're an athletically minded individual, you can find something at Southwestern Randolph that you want to participate in. I can almost promise you of that. We also have so many different clubs that we probably have a club that you'd be interested in as well. We have anything from FCA to Anime Club. So we have lots of ways to plug in. One of the important things about plugging in, regardless of where you choose to go to high school, is research shows that students that are plugged in, students that are connected, we tend to keep them and they graduate. If a student's not connected, then sometimes we have a hard time hanging on to them. So we want them to be connected in something with the high school. There are multiple ways for students to make the most of their high school classes and their schedule, so there's lots of different elective choices, even for 9th graders. We have career technical, we have the arts, we have ROTC. We also have the AP Capstone Academy, which is the only one in the Randolph County school system. So that is a way for us to kind of reach those higher level students that really want to push themselves. So if you're interested in that, we do have a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock in the auditorium that you can attend and learn more about that as well. And we also have a booth over here for you to go and visit as well. So beginning in the 9th grade, our students can actually begin getting college credit, because you will take, if you're an AP capstone, you will take AP Earth Environmental. And if you make a high enough score on that final test, then you will get a college credit for that class. So that's really good. What we think is even more important than that college credit, though, is that those students are really being pushed and stretched to stretch themselves academically, okay? And they're ready for that challenge. You know, our students in the AP Earth have done very well. We also offer RCC and other AP classes, and we offer them not only face-to-face, but we also have classes that are available to students online, which allows for more flexibility in our students' schedule. We do have a B on our report card, which we're pretty proud of, and we have seen tremendous growth, and I don't mean in our numbers, because we're not as big as we used to be, but we've shown tremendous growth in the most important area, and that is the individual growth of our students in their academic classes. The way that we're graded and looked at by the state is the way that we grow kids, and Southwestern is doing a really good job of growing our students. So to introduce you to your student services team, as I said before, or actually Mr. Hill said, I am Tina Trotter. I am this counselor that's primarily responsible for students with the last names ending in A through K, and Miss Burton is primarily responsible for those students with last names L through Z. The reason we do that is we found that it helps us to follow your child for 4 years, and we get to know them, and we can help them to take the classes that they need to take. Sometimes we might steer them in a certain direction. We can help you to help them as well. So we found that this works really well at our school. Regina Hunt is our career development coordinator, and she works with our students really closely as well in regard to the various CTE programs that we offer. She's also a great person to talk to your student perhaps about careers. They can also talk to us about that as well, but she's just another person that can help your student maybe figure it out. And we do a lot of work together. The career development coordinator and the counselors work really closely together. We've started something about 3 years ago, which I love. It's one of my favorite things that we do at Southwest now, and it's 4-year planning. So we start with the 9th grade, working with those students to start thinking about, what do you want your high school career to look like? You know, what classes do you want to take? And we work with them each year to update those 4-year plans. And I really like that because we see a lot of forward thinking, and these days you kind of have to think forward. So I really enjoy being a part of that. Melissa Marion is another support person here. She's our student advocate. She is like the Miss Chapman at UARI and the Miss Smith at Southwest Middle. So she is just another person that helps your student to make sure that they are getting the most out of their high school experience, that they're coming to school, that we're making sure that we're meeting their needs. If they're not coming to school, is there a reason why they're not coming to school? Are there barriers in place that we can remove? That kind of thing. So there are graduation requirements, okay? We're in high school to have fun, but we also have to get some credits along the way. So 28 credits are needed to graduate from high school, pretty much anywhere in North Carolina. And you're gonna get your credits. You're gonna get 4 from English, 4 from math, 3 from science, and 4 from social studies. You're gonna have to take 1 PE, okay? So those of you out here that don't like PE and may not wanna dress out, you don't want to fail PE, and we've had students to do that before, so suck it up, dress out, get that credit, and move on. You don't ever have to take another PE if you don't want to, but get it out of the way in the 9th grade. And then you have 12 to 16 additional elective credits, okay, to equal 28. Now, most of our students graduate with 32, but you need at least 28 to graduate. You'll see there, if you got to have 28 to graduate, but most of ours graduate with 32, there's 4 classes built in there that say maybe a student struggles really hard in math. And so maybe their first year they fail a math class. Your student could potentially, we don't want it to happen and we try our best for it not to happen, but if they fail 4 classes during their high school experience, they can still graduate on time with their peers. If they fail more than that, then they can't. They're not going to be able to. If they pass all their classes, then junior and senior year, there's a lot of opportunities that open up. early release, if they wanted to early graduate, if they want to take RCC classes, online classes. So there's lots of opportunities. So there's benefits to passing all your classes. But if you mess up or if you struggle, there's still some cushion in there for you to be able to graduate on time, okay? So your freshman year, you will take English 1, Honors or Standard, Foundations of Math and Math 1, or semester-long Math 1, or Honors Math 2. We do not offer Standard Math 2 to 9th graders. It's only Honors Math 2. World History and Honors or Standard, Earth Science and AP Honors or Standard. And the AP Earth is primarily for those capstone students. And then Health and PE and up to 3 electives. So you'll take 8 classes as a freshman, and you'll need to put some alternates on there. Okay, we want 6 alternates, and we want you to rank them. Okay, 1 to 6. So 1's the one I want the most, but I'd be okay with 6. And we really want you to take that seriously because sometimes we have to go deep into the alternate list, unfortunately. So we want to make sure that students are, making good choices when it comes to the alternates. All right, sample freshman schedule. Our school day is from 8 to 3. Fall semester runs from the beginning of the year, about 8/28 to mid-January. And you'll see a sample schedule there. So they take 4 classes at that time. And then after Christmas, they'll take exams. And then we will start our second semester. So a whole new 4 classes. Your students primarily are used to year-long classes. So semester-long classes move fast. So if your student's used to maybe missing school and it doesn't really stress them out that much, they will stress out in high school, okay? You need to be here. You miss a day of school in high school and you feel very behind. So we want to keep you from feeling stressed out. So we want you to make sure that you're here. So spring semester starts about mid-January, and of course it ends the end of the year. But classes are 90 minutes long, and you see kind of the sample of how a student's schedule could go in their 9th grade. Okay, Ms. Trotter, so my student is, on the borderline. They're good in some classes, not in others. I don't really know what to do about the honors level stuff. What do I do? Well, tonight, for one, talk to the teachers. They're the experts. But what I can tell you generally is that honors classes are taught at a faster pace. Some of the testing strategies may be different in that you may not have fill in the blank, you might have short answer, you might have essay questions, there's more work involved. So you've got to be more of a self-motivated, independent worker in order to be successful in those honors level classes. You do, though, for all that hard work, you get extra quality points. And for those of y'all who know what a GPA is, there are quality points attached to the grades that you get. And the higher the quality points, the higher the GPA. All right, so that's why you get extra quality points. We require a student to have an A or a B in the prerequisite class in order for them to sign up for an honors level class at the high school. What I mean by that is if your student is, of course, in English, 8th grade English. If they have a C in 8th grade English, when we register them, we want them to have a waiver. The waivers have been provided to your counselors. I think they're tan in color. And we want you as a parent to fill that waiver out saying that you want your son or daughter to take honors level even though you know that at this time they don't qualify. We'll do it, no problem. But if they have an A or a B, they don't need a waiver. If when we sit down and register them individually, we don't have a waiver, we're going to put them in standard classes and we'll give them a waiver to take home, but they've got to turn it in before we'll put them in there. Okay? And that's just to safeguard them and you and make sure everybody's on the same page. All right? Because here's another thing before I forget it. I don't want you to think, now your child, if they haven't already, is probably going to make you feel like they don't want you involved anymore. Okay? They're pushing you away. They're in high school now. They're big boys and girls. But we need for you to continue to be involved. All right? Our students, where parents are involved, are more successful than the ones that aren't. And they may not want it, but you need to do it anyway. Okay? We're not here to be their best friend. We're here to help them to be successful, all right, at life. And high school graduation is one of those ways to get to that first step of success, okay? So we do need the current teacher to also sign off on that registration form. And We also need to make sure that you have read and understand the registration form. And if you're like me, I'm getting older, I got to get my reading glasses out because some of that print's kind of small. All right, so just make sure that you understand what you're reading. And if you have questions, call us or email us or ask us tonight, because we want to make sure you understand. And we've done this so much, I think I could do this in my sleep. But you guys haven't. Some of you, this is your first child in high school, so you've got lots of questions. If we don't answer them, make sure you ask us. So colleges do rely heavily on GPA when they're making their decisions, and I know we're not even in the 9th grade yet. Why are you talking about college? Because that's going to come, either that or work or community college. So GPA is very important across the board. Military, I mean, they all look at it. They look at how students do, how successful they are in school, because it's an indicator. Did they try hard? Even if their grades aren't the best, did they do their best? So courses that you take, they're given final grades, and the final grades are what show up. Okay, the final grades are the ones that are connected to the GPA points, not the interims or anything like that. And those are the ones that go on the high school transcript. Freshman year does count. Your transcript begins with your freshman year. So those classes you take in freshman year, that college or the military or that job that you're seeking, they're going to see those freshman grades. Okay, so if you struggle, it's not the end of the world, but you got to move in a forward direction. Okay, you got to do better. They want to see you doing better. So here's how GPA works. A standard class gets 4 points for an A B is 3, C is 2, and a D is 1, and an F gets a big old fat 0. All right? But if you take honors, you get plus 0.5 more. And if you take AP or RCC college transfer, now there are some RCC career technical classes that do not get the plus 1, but if you take AP or RCC college transfer, that gets a whole plus 1 extra quality point. All right? So an A would be 5. Okay? And for an honors class, an A would be a 4.5. All right? So as you can see, even if you don't make as high a grade in an honors class, sometimes it's better to push yourself and take that class. Do you have to take all honors classes? No. If you like history and you're good at history, take honors history. If you're not good at math, don't take honors math. All right? So you can mix and match. It's not an all or none situation. Athletics, I can't remember where I'm supposed to stop. Am I stopping here? Okay, this is my time to be quiet. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Burt. She's going to talk to you about athletics.
All right. So as you can see, there are a lot of athletic opportunities available here at the high school. Baseball, basketball, cross country, football, golf, track, softball, tennis, volleyball, cheerleading, soccer, and wrestling. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And we encourage students, as Ms. Trotter said earlier, to participate in something to get you involved in high school, because we always say that's where you make the memories for the most part in high school or in those extracurricular activities. Participation in sports at high school level does depend on passing classes and regular attendance. Students do have to pass 3 out of 4 classes each semester and have at least 85% attendance in order to participate. A lot of clubs that we have available. We have a few of those that will be here tonight that you can walk around and see. But we have an AIM Club, Anime, Beta, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Family and Consumer, Family Career and Community Leaders. FFA is one of our big ones. Skills USA, HOSA, Interact, NTHS, National Technical Honor Society, Student Government, Unify. There's a writing club. So there's a lot of opportunities to become involved. And we really encourage students to do that. So some of the things to remember about registration. Your students, when they visited with us on Tuesday, took back with them, the middle schools passed out their registration forms. Check those elective, the core classes on the front, but on the back where all of the electives are listed, we do ask you to choose 6, rank them in order 1 to 6, number 1 being that course that they want the most, number 6 being that elective that maybe they don't want as much as the others, but they're still willing to take it if it ends up in their schedules. And we'll do everything that we can. Ms. Trotter and I go through every single schedule before they get mailed out and try to finagle things so that we can get you and your students' first choices. Sometimes it's just not possible, but we will do our best for that. And please choose those courses carefully, because sometimes that number 6, the student will go, "Oh, I really didn't want that," and we're like, "Oh, we're sorry. We're going to have to go with that." On those core classes, those academic classes, teacher signatures are required from the middle school for them to take the honors courses and for them to take the one semester Math 1 or the honors Math 2, so that we know that they're able to achieve at those levels. We encourage you, if you're interested in the AP Capstone program, Ms. Saunders will be in here for a few minutes with a table over here talking about it, but we're going to have a 30-minute presentation on that in the auditorium starting at 7 o'clock to tell you more about that program, and would encourage you to come hear about that. So your middle school would have given you the deadline for when your student needs to turn in their registration forms. We will be coming to the middle school to sit down one-on-one with all of the 8th graders, review their course selections, and confirm those before we bring those back to the high school. Encourage your student to make sure they turn in that registration form, because we want them to have their choice of classes, because we've got to have that for everyone. If they don't choose their classes, it probably will come down to the middle school counselor picking those for them. So we want them to have input. So I want to introduce some of the teachers to you, and you'll have the opportunity in a few minutes to go around and talk with someone about the program and learn more about those, so you can help make some of those decisions on the electives and on the core courses. So with arts education, we have Forrest represented here and Ms. Plott. And there's Mr. Peters with the band program. And I don't think Mr. Platt's here tonight. I think he's with the baseball team. He has our art program. Back here we have our ROTC program. And then we have our career technical coming up. So you see Mr. Peters, he teaches band, concert band, marching band, jazz, theater, and ensemble. Ms. Plott has chorus. Platt has art. With our business management and administration, that will be over here. That's Mr. Marsh and Mr. Miller. Miss Miller, sorry, that's Mr. Marsh. Family and Consumer Sciences, we have Miss Biggs. I don't believe she's here this evening, but Miss Mason and Miss Nance are both here, and they will be over here behind me. So you can learn more about their programs, both with foods and parenting, and even learn a little bit about the upper level courses. We have an awesome competition team with ProStart. Health Science, we have Miss Leach and Miss Kennedy. They are both here and part of our HOSA team. Then with Architecture and Construction, in this corner, we have Mr. Perry and Mr. Daniel, and they have samples that they brought that our students learn to make in class. And that course that our 9th graders can take is Forward Sustainable Construction, and they have Skills USA program. In agriculture, we have Mr. Atwell and Mr. Maynard. They could not be here this evening, but they do have several very knowledgeable students who are very involved in the program that you can talk with and learn more from the student perspective what it's like to participate in FFA and in the ag program. And then we mentioned the ROTC program. It is a uniformed program. It is not a requirement if you go through ROTC that you enter the military. It is a leadership training program, and those students have an awesome time with that, lots of opportunities for after-school activities with that program as well. And the young people that we have in the corner will be more than happy to talk with you about that. So we wanted to get you to a point where you can go around and see some of our programs and our teachers. And we also, in the cafeteria, will have our Beta Club. We have representatives in there. And we have our Student Government Association representatives in there. And then we also have a teacher from the 9th grade academy for English, math, science, and social studies. And you can talk with them some about the curriculum in those areas and whether to take standard or honors courses. Yes, ma'am.
I'm thinking maybe the first 4 stay in here.
Okay.
And the rest can go in there.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to split you up so that you get equal time, that you get some time in here and you get some time in there so everybody's not scrambling to do everything. So the teachers are in there. So if you're on row 1 through 5, I think I said 4, but 1 through 5, stay in here. And then the rest of you, that requires you count tonight, right? I'm sorry. The rest of you can go in